Hey, welcome to Guitar Knobs, the guitars, gear, noise, and nonsense podcast, hosted today by these knobs.
Tony Dudzik, Pick Guardian.
Jared Brandon, coming to you from Nashville.
Billy Spitfire. Columbus, Ohio.
Yeah, do you feel like you needed to tag one on?
Yeah.
Like, yeah. Billy Spitfire, tequila collector.
And Grand Poohbah.
Hey, everybody, it's me, Todd Novak. Welcome to the Guitar Knobs podcast. We are thrilled to death that you are listening to our show.
That's right.
Where we talk about guitars, gear, people that make it, people that shake it, people that break it. And we love having special guests on the line, and we've got one tonight. He's not necessarily a builder of guitar gear, but he is an appreciator of guitar gear and a consumer and supporter of the products and the people that make those things. Guess who are you?
I'm John Williams, Grand Poohbah in Arkansas.
Indeed.
Nice.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. We're really thrilled to have John on. He's been such a great contributor to the show. You know, whether it's in, hey, here's a suggestion, here's a would you rather, these are my thoughts, or just outright supporting the rest of the guitar community that we love to discuss and support ourselves. So it's going to be really fun talking to John, finding out what... I'm speaking like he's not like in his third person or something.
You'll talk to me someday. It's
Yeah. We're really interested in talking to you, John, but I'm telling the people that are listening. So that's how the distinction between that. Because if I said you, the people listening would be like, oh, you mean me? But anyways, that got confusing. So we've got a full house tonight. It's going to be really fun. We've got tons to talk about.
Yes.
So let's do this, man. We got a few announcements. That's right. We need to thank Rode Mics for setting us up with this super awesome gear. Our microphones and our console, always handy. And also we got a couple things. So our friend Alex Giraldi from Copper Sound Pedals, they got a whole new release of great new products coming out specifically for DIY builders. They've got special breadboards that are like, you know, all hooked up, basically ready to plug in and play. Inputs and outputs and power and all that business. They've got substitution boxes, toggle switches, dual gang potentiometer breadboards, adapters, solder dispensers. Solder.
Solder?
Pre-cut and stripped wire. I'm actually interested in that because that's you know, it's better if somebody else does it. Anyways, lots of great things, and guess what? They are available all right now.
Oh.
So you can go to Copper Sound Pedals, check out the DIY products by Copper Sound, and
oh, wow, they got like breadboards and all kinds of cool stuff.
Yes, all kinds of the things so you can get out there and start kind of making your own pedals. That's really cool.
Nice.
I mean, now granted, there are plenty of other places that do these kind of things, but the difference is I think that they're really taking into consideration guitar builders, not just electronics enthusiasts. Pedal, gear builder people. Anyways, so thanks to Alex for sending that our way, and congratulations on a fantastic new thingamabob. Also, so this is from Gregory Randall, also one of our supporters.
Yeah.
He says, hey, Todd, I'm a bit behind on the podcast. Just listened to the Guild 101. Wow, what an amazing episode.
Thank you.
We agree. Tony did a great job with that. Going back through it a second time to take notes and look up pictures of the guitars. Thanks a bunch. He's probably like, thanks a bunch. You know, like,
Love your life.
Yeah. Love your life. I've also been thinking way too much about which guitar I would give to my teenage self. That was one of the...
Oh, yeah. Would you rather?
I think it might be a new Yamaha RevStar Standard with the P90s. Yeah, the new ones came out, and they are better even. Cool. My advice would be believe in yourself to himself. All right, that's cool. And then he says, here's another would you rather, which we will do at the end of the show.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So anyways, there is that. Now, let's get on with this. What is going on in our music worlds this week? Ladies and gentlemen, Tanya Bolonsky is going to kick us off, and then we're going to chat with our good friend,
That's not
John
my
Williams.
name anymore.
What is it now? Oh, yeah, it's Little Nubbins.
Little Nubbins. It's my rap stage name.
That's your rap name, Little Nubbins?
Little Nubbins.
Lil Nubbins.
Yeah, Little Nubbins. That's hilarious. Oh boy, go ahead. And John, if that came up in the one that we literally just released today, so if you're not caught up, then you'll be like,
not caught that one yet.
That's
I missed that. Okay.
Now you will get the joke when
Yes.
you listen to that.
Well, I immediately
episode.
went to Friends. I don't know what you guys went to, so I'll find out, I guess.
okay.
Are you going with me?
Go.
Oh, so this week, I finally, I talked about this guitar a while back, that I was rebuilding a real 1969 Fender Custom for a friend of mine, who was the only person that I knew had an actual Fender Custom. And now, just a quick reminder, the Fender Custom was a chop shop job that Fender, under CBS's infinite wisdom, took electric 12 bodies, chopped them up in several places, used the hockey stick headstock with, instead of 12 tuning machines, they put 6 in there. And
They
then,
were far spread apart.
yeah.
What did you say, Jared? You got to speak up.
They were far spread apart. They were far, like, each tuner is very far apart from each other, correct?
That is correct.
Like
you
you
spaced
to the
them.
microphone.
Yes.
You could be a giant and yet not get your hands tangled up within the tuners.
That is correct.
Okay.
Like Andre the Giant.
So a couple of months back, Carl from Car Sickness, whose guitar this was, sent me the guitar, and it was a mess. I mean, a real mess. The neck, however, was actually in pretty good shape, but the body was just not great, and there were some cracks in it after we got all the paint and goo and stuff off of it. So my buddy Pat Murray at Coop Guitars did the yeoman's share of bringing the body back together. He actually routed out a big chunk of wood in the middle, dropped a new piece in, so it's a very sturdy instrument compared to what it was. Well, I finally got all the bits and pieces together, bolted it up, put all the pickups, made a new pick guard for it, and shipped it out yesterday. And it is, I mean, I have to say, of all the restorations that I've done, this one came out really, really good. And the pickups, I used Carl's original pickups that he had. He had a wide range in the neck and a Duncan, I think it was...
Super distortion.
It was almost like a JB, but it was like a DDL or something like that was what it would set underneath, but it was a super high.
Oh, I wasn't that far off.
What's that?
Then I wasn't that far off.
What?
You super high.
Oh, I mean, the difference is the real high output ones usually had ceramic magnets. This had Elnicos. So, but it was, I was, I put it together probably Monday or Tuesday, and I was just playing around with it. I wanted to make sure it worked, of course. Mm-hmm. That was always fun. And I was just really, really happy with how all the pickups sounded great
That's
together.
amazing. Thanks so much for bringing it in.
Well, you'd have to, I'll show you a picture of it.
I have a question about that. How was the balance between the Seymour Duncan, which is a great pickup, by the way.
Yeah.
And the wide range.
So I had to drop the wide range down pretty low, pretty much to just slightly above guard level. I think that wide range, and this is an original wide range, was like around 10.5.
Yeah.
And
that's the average.
And the Duncan metered out around 15.5.
Yeah.
So it was, I mean, they were fairly well balanced, but of course the bridge pickup had to be considerably higher in order to compete with that neck wide range.
Yeah.
So, but all in all, really cool. Tracked down some new parts for it, and luckily most of them are readily available. And so Carl should have it on Friday, and I'm sure he'll send me photo and a thank you.
Awesome.
So
Very cool.
Pat, did Pat, one more question about it. So
Yeah.
Did Pat ever talk about like where he dropped that extra wood in? Is that under the pickguard or is that outside of a pick guard?
Well, it probably would have been outside the pickup area, but because the body was being repainted, and then Carl did a kind of like he does all this fancy. Well, you probably saw my other, the one that I had made that he did all the artwork on, and then Pat put a coat of poly over the top of that just so it can keep it all safe. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, even though there's a big chunk of wood in the middle of it, you would never know.
That's pretty cool because I mean, if I've seen where people have tried to repair Gibsons and then using lacquer, which is considerably thinner, and then no matter what you do, it's like that where you repaired it and where you added wood.
Oh yeah,
those damn lines always seem to project.
Yeah,
after a while after everything kind of shrinks.
Yeah,
you know?
when especially if you're using real lacquer, it'll sink down in, and there's not a whole heck of a lot you can do about it. So in those cases, you'd really want to just, if you had to replace wood like this, you'd want to make sure it was underneath the guard area.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
Yeah,
that is outstanding. John, what's going on in the music world, man?
I've gotten to a few cool things this week. Let's see. Just yesterday, I ordered a new overdrive I'm excited about.
Ooh, what did you order?
I found it on Reverb. Well, actually, I stumbled across them on Instagram and thought they looked really, really cool. And then I found a demo. It's Calavera.
Okay.
Out of Canada. But anyway, it's super cool looking pedal. Like it just immediately got my attention anyway. It just looked cool. And then listened to some demos, like I say, and it sounded great. So, and they're priced quite reasonably for such a cool little pedal. So I got one of those on the way. I'm excited about that.
That's killer. You know what?
Yeah,
I've actually been in conversation to get him on the show. So
excellent. Yeah, I was recommend as much. And I kind of been shopping around at Amps again, as I do from time to time. And I was going to pick your brain about your Origin at some point. Because, I mean, I tried one of those out the other day and thought that was pretty slick. I
really like it. And, I mean, actually, we recorded with it here at Relay 2-3 weeks ago. Billy actually dropped in to hear it. That was the Origin 50 that I was playing.
Right. Yeah.
And you know, John has all kinds of, you know, top-notch amps out here. And he's like, man, that thing sounds good. Like, let's just stick with that today. So... you know, when
super punchy.
It is. It's got the stuff that works for me, anyways, and I don't have to haul around. You know, I don't have a half stack. I don't have to do that. I've got the head. I have a head, and I have a 2x12 cab, and then I also have a combo version of the 50.
Are you using an attenuator with that?
No. Yeah.
Yeah, impressive. It sounded
But
great.
it's got the power settings on it, right? So you can go from, what is it, like 5 watts to 10 to 50 or something like that?
Yeah, it kind of has its own attenuator built into it, which is kind of neat because then you can play in your basement. And now, it doesn't sound exactly like a Marshall. It's like, well, yeah, because it's a lot quieter. But it's still, it's got a master volume on it, so you can goose it and do all that stuff. And so anyhow,
I was really impressed with it. It was super cool.
I would highly recommend doing it. Are you looking at a combo or a head?
Well, I was kind of looking at the combos. I mean, the 20 watt would be more than enough power for me, but the 50 gets the 12 inch. So I don't know. Maybe I can get a 20 head and find a little 112 cab somewhere. But
well,
I mean, all
essentially,
these
the 20 is the 20 is the middle. And I'm not okay. If I'm dead wrong, people please don't beat me up. But from what I understand, the 20 watt version is sort of like the medium gain or the medium power level. That's what you can expect. Sure. The 12-inch speaker, if you do that, I would highly, highly recommend dropping in a third-party speaker. Like I put in the Warehouse guitar speakers.
You got one from Guitar Warehouse?
Invader, yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. That's good to know.
Yeah. So anyhow, yeah, dude, it was a great purchase. I've really liked it quite a bit. So
you went to a replacement speaker pretty quickly then.
Yeah, I did. I just over the years I've learned, I'm like, you know what, they just sound better because anything that I believe my own personal opinion here, man, is that like,
Well, I asked for it. Yeah.
yeah, if they're in order to keep things at a price that people can go like, I can feel good about spending that amount of money, they're going to go with lesser things in certain areas. Number one thing that they do is go with a speaker that is, a lower, just a lesser speaker. It's a Celestion 8070 or 7080, whatever those things are.
Yeah, you're better off spending some money on a decent speaker. I mean, you spend an extra $100 on a better speaker. I mean, what's the difference between doing that and buying a $100 pedal? To do something.
Right.
Yeah, I was really surprised at what the pricing was. That they look very reasonable. I was kind of eyeing one for my deluxe reverb here, actually. Like they had one they recommended highly for that one, like one of the smooth cones that kind of round the top off. They said, and that was appealing.
I guess the biggest thing that I've seen is like, and it's kind of neat because when you pull one out of the box and you hold it up to what you just took out, you're like, this isn't even close to like all the components. Like, I don't have to be a speaker expert to go like, this is going to be much better. and it does. It sounds better. I mean, and straight up. So, anyways, so there's that.
You did that in your combo or in your 212 cab?
I did it to both. So in my,
all of it.
I put the Invader 50 in my combo, and then in my cab, I put in the 212 cabinet, I put the Invader as well as what is the ES65?
Oh, how fun is that? Okay, cool.
Yes, I think I'm trying to remember the name of it. It's whatever that is, the white one. And the difference is the Invader's more like it's kind of in between like a greenback and a creamback, from what I understand, the way that they've kind of been led to believe. So it has a creamier, more mid-tone focus kind of thing. The ET65 is got a more articulated bottom end, so it doesn't mush out. And Tony just gave me a big thumbs up,
like the real
that.
65s. That's the way the real 65s were. Yeah.
And then it also has a more art. So you get the punch from the ET65. And the thing is, if you're in a 212, you're looking to move a little bit of air. In a combo, that's not necessarily the case. So with that, when you're trying to get more punch, all the mid, and you dig into it, it's not gonna hold as much. That ET65 really comes through. So, anyways, there you go.
Excellent. Very cool.
Bada bing, bada boom. Some guys probably listening going, he does not know what he's talking about.
I have one Marshall 4x12 cabinet, the old one, and from like 1973.
Yeah,
and it's got the original 65s in it.
Okay,
and then I got another one that I put the greenbacks in.
Yeah.
And they have a different sound. One's creamier, and the other one is punchy on the bottom.
Yeah.
And man,
Yeah. So ideally,
it all depends on what club you're playing in,
right? But ideally, since I'm the only guitar player, I can ask for two mics. I can go like, I want this speaker mic, then I want that speaker mic. Get them both.
I did when I ran stereo, and they ran me in stereo.
Yeah,
just like that.
Just like that.
Worked. Sounded excellent.
So yeah, man, I would highly recommend doing that. That'd be a.
Me too.
I think that's a solid purchase. Yeah, Dudzik. Yeah. All right, Bill.
Hey, Steph. Todd said it was okay.
Yeah. Billy, what's going on in your music world?
What's going on in my music world? Three things. One is I'm having a big birthday party.
Woo.
Yeah,
yes,
at the Big Room Bar, so we're getting ready for
big
that.
one
with Brat Pizza.
Yeah, I was just working on the
with what
on the flyer
today.
Clarification.
Bratwurst Pizza.
On the 23rd of September, we're celebrating my birthday, which is on the 28th of September. I'm a Libra. I go both ways, and both. I mean, I'm on balance. I'm balanced. That's what I mean.
Okay. I mean, if it wasn't that, that's fine too. I mean, whatever.
So I've been working on that. I played some bass with a Grateful Dead, Rolling Stones cover kind of band. Had a blast on Saturday with some good buddies.
Grateful Stones?
The Grateful Stones, man. And that was fun. I was playing bass with those guys. And then I also got another Duncan detonator pickup.
Oh,
The detonators were used.
Sounds explosive.
They were an aftermarket variation of the Duncan Invader.
okay.
So it's the pickup that has like little little bolts.
Hex bolts.
It looks like little bolts on top. Yeah, they're bubbled up. So they look real cool. And they had them in the Fender
it's
Tom
not hex bolts, rounded ones.
Yeah,
like,
they're
almost
rounded.
Like
they're
BBs.
rounded. Yeah, they're rounded. Yeah,
okay, yeah.
And so Fender used it in the Tom DeLonge Strat. Okay,
Right.
With single pickup, one knob, very nice and creamy.
I remember that thing. Yeah.
Yeah, but in their Squire version of the Tom DeLonge Strat, they used the detonator, and the detonator is similar, real close. Looks the same from the outside, but it's a little nastier. And so I'm in the process of swapping those out with some other pickups and making some Squires that had been so-called upgraded to the Fender variation with the Invader. I'm bringing them back to their original detonator because it's nasty and it's really cool. And
So you're swapping it like it's hot and bringing nasty back.
so it's almost like, yeah. It's the same kind of a thing with the creamy speaker versus the, the 65.
Why not have both?
It's kind of the
What
same
makes
thing.
it nastier? What makes the detonator nastier than the?
It's
12 more wines per coil.
it sounds like it doesn't. It has a filter applied to it, so it's not like a full range of overdriven distortion.
Cockwa or something.
It's more succinct. It's more bitey.
Focused?
It's just bitier. It's nastier. It's not quite as creamy. So like maybe on a really nice Santana solo, it's not going to sound as good as the Invader. But if you're
There is only one Santana solo. He plays the same solo on every song. Just in case you
I'm
haven't
saying,
noticed.
if he was using a different pickup, it's going to sound different.
Hey, man, make it real or just forget about it.
Sounds like they added a few more magnets for that extra focus.
They might.
I don't know.
They might have
There
supercharged the
might have been
magnet.
cheaper magnets. I don't know.
They overgaused it.
Like I said, it was an aftermarket thing. So sometimes you see them with the brand Duncan Performer, and sometimes they're stamped on the bottom that says Performer. Sometimes they say Detonator. But it's a cheaper version of the Invader, and I like it.
That's
Nice.
a win and a win.
they look cool. They look cool. It's a cool looking pickup, man.
They look cool.
I mean, that counts for a lot.
Oh yeah, the punks love them.
Yeah.
When you find out what your jam is,
My game.
how you can get more.
My game.
All right, Jared, how about yourself?
So, if you guys remember a few episodes back, good old Tony Bolonsky got us all some clones from China. And I got mine in the mail, and it was sat around for a few days till I got a chance to plug the thing in. And I plugged it in right next to my Klon. I've got a real one, and I got a chance to compare it. And I have to say, for the price that Tony Bolonsky paid for this, it's a huge winner.
Which was like $25 or something.
It was about $30.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah,
under 30
so-
shipped.
Fantastic find. The only difference is that, and I had all the buttons dialed to the exact parameter, and I think the fake one just kind of fizzled out a little easier. It didn't keep this, like when you hit a chord,
Doesn't have the girth.
and you got your sustain going. The sustain stays, the same sound and breakup just kind of stays consistent throughout the nice long sustainy power chord.
Yeah.
But the fake one kind of fizzles out. But
Well, I'll tell you what
honestly, for the money, it's a big winner.
Yeah.
Seriously. So great find, buddy.
Yeah, well, John Esterly put some new components into one of them and brought it over to the shop, and we did an A/B with an unmodified one and a modified. And the modified one definitely sounds better. And I think he said he only replaced 3 or 4 components.
Yeah.
But it made a huge difference.
Were really bad. All he did is replace some diodes
And an op amp.
And the op amp.
Yeah.
He said he changed that out.
It's a huge difference. I ought to send mine to John and a few bucks and see if he can't do that.
Oh, he'll definitely do it. Why don't you, next time you're up in town, or if you just want to send it back, we'll get it over to him. Because he's going to do that to
he's doing that
Todd's,
currently to the one that we're giving away.
and the one that we're going to give away.
Yeah.
That's a good idea. So thank you, Tony Balonski.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're
Indeed.
welcome. Todd, what about you?
Well, look, I don't want to turn this into a clonathon, but we have something cooking, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just saying that this
It's
is
percolating,
there's
as we
this
say.
percolating thing, and one of the things. So I was talking with my buddy Hex, and he's like, "Oh man, I just got the Harby Centauri, which is another clone out there in the works. I think kind of more aimed at the Archer." The Archer audience, and just because form factor and price, and I was like, oh, that's really interesting. I was looking at that a little bit, and then I got to notice that it like went on like a 1-day sale on Amazon. I was like, well, crap. so I got that.
Happens every time.
But that is so. The thing that we're cooking up is we're gonna do our own little, like, we've got a whole bunch of these kicking around, and we're not going to compare it to the real one, because it doesn't matter. None of us are going to buy that. Most people aren't going to ever play one or have one, so it doesn't matter. So we're going to say, of these, what do we like best? And we're going to try it out with a bunch of different guitars, a bunch of different amps, and should be fun. So we'll have a bunch of content for y'alls.
I know there's always discussions about these
Yeah.
things. Is there like a trade secret or something that's inside there? What's different?
Yes and no.
And no, okay.
Yes.
We just don't know.
But no.
Okay.
But mostly yes.
Okay.
It's just
Fair enough.
it's a great sounding pedal, and what you heard was mine, but mine is the Sierra tone, or Sierra tone one, but that was going into the Marshall 50.
Okay.
And in front of that, I had a Morning Glory, and it was like, man, it sounded awesome. So, anyways, Tony, I just ended up building up a little foot switch for the HX Stomp, so that I can cycle through the different profiles that I have,
Like
or
up, down, up, down, up, down?
or next and back.
Next and back.
Either way, if you look at things on an x-axis or a y-axis.
Oh, next and back, next and back.
Yeah.
Next and back.
Which is helpful because I've set up a couple different things, and I'm like, I want to be able to cycle through these potentially on a live situation, but without, aside from just turning it, So anyways, I got these little, I made a pedal, and I'm actually making 2 others that I'm going to give away to our patrons. Who have HX Stomps. And the thing is, in order to make this work, you can't just use a regular patch cable.
You can't?
You cannot. You have to use a TRS cable. What does that stand for, Tony?
TRS stands for tip, ring, and sleeve.
That is correct. And Tour Gear, luckily, makes said patch cable. So I immediately ordered some.
For those who need to visualize this,
Yes.
Think of a stereo headphone jack. You have the very tip, separated by a piece of plastic, the ring, and then the sleeve, which is the ground.
Yeah, sure.
So it's like a stereo cable.
It's kind of like that, if you want to think about it like that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I do.
You also need the same thing if you're doing like an expression pedal on most things or something like that. So, anyhow, those are on their way, and I'm very excited about it. So you can go get your own tip, ring, sleeve patch cables or any other of the patch cables. They're just regular patch cables.
I wonder if that would work, the Rickenbacker Rico sound, where you have a dual jack.
Yeah.
And then it goes normally into like a little splitter box that has, with a stereo cable. I bet it would work on that.
I bet it would.
I'm going to have to.
You should try that out.
I'm going to check it out.
Some and get it. Anyway, so thank you to Tour Gear Designs. You need to go to tourgeardesigns.com and get yourself these pedals and use the code TheGuitarKnobs, all one word. You're going to save 10% on your entire order.
10% on top of already
that is
a very affordable
one
piece.
more percent than 9. So thank you to Tour Gear for sponsoring our 4 on the Floor. Jared.
Let me get a little bit of this.
1, 2, 3. 4 on the floor. All right, John Williams, Grand Poohbah. What is your 4 on the floor?
Well, I'm just going to grab the 4 that I've been using lately. I built out a cool little mini board. I sent you pictures of it.
Yes.
And it is loaded with Tour Gear Designs cables for the most part, but they just came out with the TRS stuff not long ago, so I had to look elsewhere for those. But I'll get some Tour Gear Design ones. Anywho, I guess the first I've got on the little mini board is the B-Tronics Royal Jelly.
Yeah.
Ah, yes.
I mean,
and you have a black and white theme. Your board is really nice. Like, it's really cool.
Yeah. So when I saw this Royal Jelly in the Stormtrooper color scheme, it's got the bare metal box, and then the plate is white and black. It's really killer looking. So I had to grab that. The first time I plugged that thing in, I plugged it into my to the tube amp I've got, and I didn't really notice where the volume was on it when I first hit it, and it blew my mind into eardrums. It was excellent.
Oh wow!
Just absolutely ferocious thing. It's fantastic. I've still got to kind of dial in the HX Stomp to take it well, because that's getting down the line a bit. But but in my tube amp, though, it is absolutely fantastic. So I'm still kind of dialing that in. But that thing is killer. And their attention to detail is...
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's a work of art.
Good. Yeah, it's a beautiful, beautiful pedal. Anyway, so that's the first one I've got on the board there. And then
just in case people don't understand what that is, it's sort of like a overdrive fuzz like pairing, but it's way more complex in the sense of
you can swap it from the king side to the queen side, and you can dial each side back and forth between overdrive and fuzz. You can kind of fade from one to the other.
Yeah. And then all the settings
it's got
within
a buzz switch.
Yeah,
that buzz switch is awesome.
It is. It is a really fantastic pedal. Okay, what's number 2?
So number 2, from there it bounces into my HX Stomp. So which I know is not exactly just a stomp box, but it's cool. So I've got the Stormtrooper colored out HX Stomp too. Just white,
all white,
stuff, And I think it's super cool. And like I mentioned before, I've got TRS cables running around and a MIDI cable running around.
What do you use the HX Stomp for primarily?
Well, I mean, for the little bit of playing out I do is largely just at church or that kind of thing. So it's usually directed to a soundboard. So, I mean, the HX Stomp seemed like an obvious place to go to me.
Yeah.
And so I just built this whole mini board out around that. So I've got it doing amp modeling, and then also doing some drives, so I can kind of stack.
Okay.
And I'll talk about that in a second. But if even the little Timmy modeler in there, stacks on top of some of the other things, I run into it pretty nicely.
Yeah.
So that's really, really cool. And then I've got that MIDI tied into the next in line, which of course I'm just kind of assuming everybody's pretty familiar with the HX Stomp, but it does most everything, of course. And I've got a 2-button switch tied into it too, like you were talking about a minute ago, so I could go kind of bounce back up and down, gives you a couple more buttons to push. So the next thing I got in line, so number 3 here, it goes right into my Specular Tempest from GFI.
Ooh, okay. Now go into detail about this one.
This is, I mean, as I saw it, it's kind of the reverb unit if you don't want to run the reverb unit everybody else has.
Okay.
So, I mean, of course, I love the Strymon stuff. The timeline's amazing, but, everybody in these circles runs it, so I wanted to run something a little different. And I came across the Specular Tempest. It's so tiny, fits on the board really small, but it's loaded with lots of cool reverbs and delays. It can do both. You can actually have both running at the same time. And
it's a super quality machine. I mean, that is a highly engineered machine.
Super, super cool. And it's got a pretty good interface for if you've got it plugged into a computer where you can go through dialing things in, much like the HX Stomp does. So I can seriously have it kind of sitting here on my desk, and I can be tweaking the HX Stomp while I tweak the Specular Tempest, which is kind of what I like to do. I don't really like just spinning through the little menus. I like to have it on a computer screen so I can, actually tweak everything a bit.
That's got MIDI as well as USB.
Right. So I've got MIDI tied to the HX Stomp, so I can tie in the tap tempo. Is a big thing.
Right.
Because, one of the reasons I got the Specular was kind of offload some of that, because you've only got so many blocks in the HX Stomp. So I was trying to offload some things to the Specular Tempest for reverb and delay, but I still end up stacking delays anyway. So I'll sometimes have something run on the HX Stomp and then pass it into the Specular Tempest, and it's still all in tap together. Mm-hmm. So that's pretty cool. And I've also got the little triple switch for that. So you've got a couple more options. You can switch between scenes with it as well. So I've got foot switches for the HX Stomp and the Specular Tempest all kind of tied onto this little board. But, I don't have to bend over much. It can just kick things.
Nice. So that's 3.
Right. And the other one's one I kind of change out. And actually, I usually kind of run it at the front of the series, kind of depending on what it is. But right now, it is the very good Ampco EP drive.
Oh, yeah. That's a great sounding drive, man.
It is fantastic. I first heard about him here on Guitar Knobs. Yeah, so I heard his interview, and he and I kind of talked back and forth some on Instagram, and that was a good time. And I ended up sending him a brush. He sent me a T-shirt, that kind of thing, Cool stuff. But, I bought his EP drive, the V3, the white, of course, so it ties in with everything else I got. But I love that pedal. I pretty much leave that boost on all the time.
Yeah. Another pedal that
EP
is
boost. Yeah, just leave it on.
But it's like it can do an awful lot. And you can switch between doing the like boost first or boost after kind of situation. Which
right,
is really
change
cool.
the order. It's a cool thing. So usually I do have the boost going into the drive, and what I typically do with it. And it's got the high and the low cut on board, so that's kind of cool. When I'm actually running into my amp here in the house, just direct, I'll usually have that low cut on, just to kind of keep it from getting muddy on me. And I love it to death. It's a super cool pedal, and it plays really well with the HX. Going into the HX Stomp, it plays really well ahead of it. So that's been kind of my go-to.
That's awesome.
Fourth pedal for the moment. Like I said, I've got the new thing coming, so I'm excited to try it out too.
Yeah, you got all kinds of good stuff. And if you're curious about that one, on episode 219, that was our interview with them. So, anyways, John Armelino.
Yeah, super cool pedal. It looks great. Like I said, it's a super clean. It's a nice Gorva box. It's that drive is fun too. It's a unique sounding drive. It's almost Velcro-y.
Yeah,
kind of got that little thing going on, and you can kind of dust it on there. You can lay into it. It does either really well.
Yep, lay into it or not. Yeah, all good. That's and he's good. He's a super good dude. You're buying a pedal from genuinely a good guy, so that always counts for something. And we also had Beatronics on way back. Oh my God, that was a long time ago.
Under 100, I think. Episode 100.
Yeah, I think they were actually just coming out with the Royal Jelly.
Yeah,
I don't even know if it was out at that time. To be
I don't think it was, because when we went to California,
I think he was working on it at the time, if I remember right.
Yeah. So
he was. Yeah,
and I love it, dude. That's a super super cool pedal. When I saw that, when I kind of just had to have it, and I was not disappointed.
We should have them back on.
Yeah,
I think so. We'll call Philly.
They've had a lot come out since then. I tried their Vespa out earlier this week too.
Oh yeah.
That thing's really, really angry.
Yeah, they do like the fuzz.
I had a hard time trying it out in a Guitar Center without, driving everybody nuts. I'm going to have to get it and, wait till everybody leaves and try it at home.
Yeah. Nice. Billy,
I got a question. You had the dual switch, and then you had the triple switch on those couple pedals. How do you manage your footwork when you're tapping on those things? Like
I have special shoes. And then it's the Specular Tempest. One of the downers with it is just like the HX Stomp. I mean, you kind of only have 2 buttons on it.
Yeah.
So if you want to change banks, it's really handy to have it. And also the triple switch allows me to do a 2-button press with a single button. I'm not, kicking my foot across it sideways or something.
Yeah.
For if you want to do the infinite sustain stuff, the freeze. Whatever you want to call it. I'm talking about.
Okay.
It'll allow you to do that.
That's cool.
So I mean, the triple switch is really handy for that. So I can go bank to bank with it. Like you've got an A and a B on the Specular Tempest, so you can select between 2. And then you've got on the triple switch, you've got bank up, bank down, and then you've got that button in the middle that's a combination of hitting 2 buttons, and you can do the freeze.
That's cool.
Okay.
I like that.
Okay.
It just makes it a little more usable. It was another option that I just said, yeah, I want that too. Why not?
Why not?
Yeah,
Do
okay,
the things. Right on.
Then I've got it on a super cool custom board. I'm really kind of excited about the little board I made for it. It's
That is a nice board. And you got the Chalk's power
everything's
supply.
like, yeah. Everything's like custom made for the pedals that are on it. So if I want to change things, then I've got to design a new board.
Fair play. Fair play. Well, John, thank you for sharing your 4 on the floor. Now, we've got you on the show because you are a Grand Poohbah. That is the highest level supporter of our show on Patreon. So we've got our executive producers, and then we have our Grand Poohbahs. And first of all, let me say a genuine and heartfelt thank you for supporting our show the way that you do. It means the world to us, and it truly helps us out. Now, that's just the support side from, like the membership level kind of thing. But you are also somebody.
I appreciate it, man. Because before I signed on as executive producer, I'd already kind of, gone through pretty much your entire playlist. Just like through every episode I could find, kind of thing. So I was more than happy to hop on board.
Thank you. Well, and aside from that kind of support. That's the hard support. The soft support is, you're really great about sharing your thoughts and staying, messaging and just, you're not an outsider to us.
Not
and
passive.
We
It's active.
You're very active. Thank you, Billy. That's about right.
And you get to have your name read on the thing.
There you go.
Yes, you do. You do. So, anyways, let's find out a little bit about our friend John here. Now, I think one of the obvious questions we like to ask. Let's start out with a little bit of gear first. Okay, we just got through with your pedal board. Walk us through what's your guitar situation look like?
I've got a few in my little room here. I've got several hanging on the wall and stuff. The bulk of my gear was bought like early 2000s, so a lot of it's leftover 90s stuff. Let's see.
Now you have kids, right?
Yes, I do have one, and she might stop in to say hi. And
that's fine.
Knows? I think they just got back.
Yeah.
But anyhow, I've still got my first guitar down here, like my first decent guitar.
Uh-huh.
And it's an old Yamaha AES 500. Does anybody know what that was?
AES 500?
Right. Yeah, it's kind of a Les Paul-ish kind of thing, but it was really rounded out. It has a little swing pull pick guard that's kind of fun, and wraparound tailpiece. Oh,
I'm pulling that up. I'm going to check it out. Oh, yeah, that is kind of interesting. It is. It is a roundy Les Paul, essentially.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
My little one came in. You want to say hi, Didi?
Hi. Her name's Dee Dee?
JD.
JD. Hi,
JD.
JD.
Hi, JD.
She'll be a rock star, no doubt.
I love it. How old are you, JD?
If you miss me, then you can have it.
How old are you, JD?
Don't know.
Neither do we. It doesn't matter.
Right.
It doesn't matter.
That's a good answer. All right. There you go. Okay.
Cutie.
Yeah, sorry about that.
No,
but anywho,
all good.
AES 500 is a cool little guitar. I got it when I was in somewhere like 8th, 9th grade, something like that.
Yeah.
So that was the one I played in my little high school bands and stuff. And super tiny neck, and it's got cool taps, which was cool.
Yeah.
And they got a little 3-way switch. I didn't have an a proper overdrive pedal, so I just had a little crate, 15 watt, whatever, practice amp.
Yeah.
That was everywhere in the 90s. And
it's got an interesting bevel on it. It's instead of a carved top, they just beveled it.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting.
It's a cool guitar. I mean, it was really cool at the time, I thought.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, but it had 2 volume knobs. That was kind of cool. So I just keep the rhythm pickup real low, and so I could be clean. And then I just flip that thing over to lead circuit, and suddenly I had my overdrive. Right?
Not bad.
I didn't have like I said, it didn't have a pedal or anything.
Oh wait,
so yeah,
now
wait.
Let me ask you: Does yours have the bevel on top, or is it
Mine's
flat
a
top?
flat top.
Okay,
Mine's a flat top.
I just saw one that has a bevel on it.
There was another that had a bevel
that's a
around the
720.
edge.
That's a 720.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Yeah, okay. All right.
Somewhere in between, right? But yeah, super tiny little neck. I mean, it was I used that thing, plumbing to college, that kind of thing. It was fun.
Nice.
But anyway, so the ones I guess more interesting things. I got a Parker Fly.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, I've only heard that mentioned a couple times on the show.
Yeah. So that's
Kind of rare.
They're weird.
yeah.
Oh, rare. Rare.
Oh, they're rare as well. Yeah. Well, they're getting rarer all the time because they're almost all custom parts.
Yeah. It's
Everything
all
on 'em
proprietary
is-
parts.
Exactly. So you find a lot of them on Reverb, that people have gutted them because, the electronics went out at some point and no one wanted to mess with them.
Yeah.
But they're super. I mean, I'm an engineer in my day gig, so this is kind of just it's. I appreciate just what a machine it is,
Uh-huh.
I mean, it's just such a space age guitar, and mine's a 98.
Uh-huh.
So it's kind of in the sweet spot before, the Washburn buyouts and all that kind of stuff. And after they'd figured out the production. So yeah, it's a super cool guitar. And I got it back when they were cheaper. They've gotten pretty crazy now, but I think it's largely just because, like I say, it's hard to find one in any kind of good condition now.
Sure. It is one of the, it's kind of like the, you know what it is? You guys, I think you'll appreciate this. It is the DeLorean of the guitar world.
Yeah, it's one way to put it.
Well, there are aluminum neck guitars out there. I think be more. Well, they were stainless. The DeLorean stainless steel, though, right?
Yes,
So never mind.
in the sense of it just being an instantly recognizable oddity.
Well, just everything is so bizarre about it.
they're super light.
It uses a plate spring. Yeah, and it weighs like 4 pounds or 3.5 pounds or something crazy.
Yeah.
Because they carve it down to nothing, but then they coat the whole back in a carbon composite to kind of make up for that, any lost mass. You got a carbon glass composite fretboard, stainless steel frets. I mean, who had that in the 90s,
Yeah.
And, custom DiMarzio pickups that don't have the ears on them. Just a lot of little details like that. And it's got that funny little flywheel kind of down by the little thumb wheel down the base of the guitar where you can actually adjust the tremolo's tension. It's got a switch on the back to make it dive only or full float.
Bizarre.
Ken Parker's a madman.
I can understand from your perspective as an engineer, like why you would appreciate that. Like that totally makes sense to me. I get that.
Right. It's just a redesigned guitar. Super cool.
So the next guitar you have is a Steinberger. Am I right?
It would be a reasonable guess. Yeah.
I thought he was going to say Teufel Birdfish.
Oh boy.
But I don't know. Like when I was, in high school and beyond, I wasn't interested in the old stuff. I wasn't interested in the traditional instruments at the time. I didn't want a Strat. My first guitar ever was my first electric ever was a Strat that I got in 7th grade or something.
Uh-huh.
And it was a the Squire Olympic White, and although I kind of still wish I had it around, of course, but that's how it goes.
Yeah.
But I wasn't interested in the traditional gear. I wasn't interested in the Strats, the Tellys, or whatever. I was kind of interested in the new kids on the block, or the guitars that were making a splash at that time.
Uh-huh.
And
Not
Parker
the band.
kind of fit in there.
Not the band. The guitars.
Right. There you go.
We need to maintain your street cred, dude.
So next to it, I do have my first nice guitar was a PRS Standard 22 that I still have. It was a 97 model. it's just a black guitar. It's got the little moon inlays, so it's not very flashy. Mm-hmm. But it's got the wide thin neck on it, which I still feel.
Are you like in a
comfortable
King
on.
Crimson cover band or something? What
You'd think, yeah. I'm not always good about buying guitars that are appropriate for what I play. but the standard 22 can do a lot of things. It can kind of fit in the middle of a lot of things.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, that's always been a great guitar, and I had it plex not too terribly long ago. So because it had some pretty significant fretwear over the last decade.
Nice.
So
And
which
so now
one?
it's flawless.
Which one is your go-to?
Well, my go-to is my most recent one. Back in 2020, when everybody was kind of confined to home, I'd really ramped up my side gig a lot, and I was just like, I'm going to bust my tail and get a nice guitar. So I did that, and I got I got a custom shop Fender Strat.
Oh, wow. I thought you were going to say a BC Rich Kerry King signature model.
Well, that's just it. I'm not a wicked player. I'm not a speed player. That's just it. Whenever I play the Parker, I kind of feel bad because it wants to go fast, and I don't.
Right.
But yeah, the Strat. It's I actually stumbled across it through Sweetwater. It's one of their specs, but it's the GT11, so it's got the 11-inch radius on it. Otherwise, it's pretty much kind of a 63, 64 Strat. So it's kind of vintage spec except for that fretboard. And then it does have like a roasted maple neck that's gorgeous, and a roasted alder body, and I love that thing to death. It does feel right. Like when it first came in, it wasn't really set up to my liking, but I took it down to Nashville. I was passing through there, and so passing through Jared's country, and
wait, before you go any further, you just said Nashville.
Yes.
Now that's different than Nashville.
Nashville.
Yeah. So I haven't heard. I don't think I've heard of
like Louisville.
Louisville. Yeah. That's like okay. I was just pointing that out. Please go ahead. Sorry.
Right. Sure.
It's a Razorback. Get off his back. He's a Razorback.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not from here, but it's
It grows
how it
on you.
goes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm from Alabama. It's not a whole lot better, right? So it's also pretty southern. So if I slip into some proper southern, let me know. But it's not so much a thing.
Like mobile Alabama.
Mobile, Alabama.
Yeah.
Sure enough, my younger brother's down there. But anyhow, it's a spectacular guitar. Of course, it was. I mean, once I kind of got it set up to my liking and everything, it's phenomenal. So I love it to death.
Awesome, man. It's got some traditional mixed in with some crazy stuff.
Right,
Cool.
and I've got a casino I've been messing with lately. Actually, I got some Brandon One pickups for it not too long ago. I kind of talked to Tony a little bit about doing a pick guard, but I was it's obviously easier if I send you a pick guard, but the pick guard I have doesn't fit it very well. So, so at some point when I get up there, I'll have to bring it by.
Yeah, you could do that, or
pick guardian.
Yeah, if you want to tape off the where the opening should be, I should be able to work from that too.
Okay, cool. We'll work on that then.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I pretty much stripped this thing down to nothing. I got it for a crazy good deal. Just a guy unloading it in Little Rock, and then I gutted it. The only original hardware on it's the tailpiece.
Oh wow!
So it did some updated tuners that look more appropriate.
Is it the '90s reissue?
Yes, somewhere in there. But it's not the one thing I would love to do to it is strip it down, do the satin finish they did on some of those the linen editions. You know those?
Oh yeah.
Where they did the satin. Oh gosh, those look so good. But anyway, I landed this one so cheap, so it was totally worth doing. So I've got some Brandon Wound casino pickups in there. I did a 920D wiring harness. They're out of Conway, Arkansas, not too far from here. Oh. And they do these beautiful wiring harnesses. Super, super cool.
Wait, what was the company?
Yeah, 920D.
920D. All right.
When did you get those Brandon Wound pickups?
They were somewhere where you were transitioning. I don't know if you were still there or not.
Okay.
And I did have some questions about those. I sent them to your Instagram. So next time you check it, look for your requests.
Right now, I'll check.
Yeah, it's just about that rhythm pickup. Just to how it's. But anyway, I also swapped the bridge out for a Godo, and I want to put a bone nut on it. And
Yeah.
I still need to notch the Godot bridge. It's still not quite set up yet. So I need to play with that some more, but it's a super cool guitar now. I got like the more Gibson style, classic Gibson style knobs on it and black covers on it, you know, so it's going to look cool.
That's cool. What color is it?
It's the natural.
Oh, okay. All right. Very nice. Very nice.
But I was a big Pete Yorn fan too. I don't know if you guys are familiar.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there you go. He always played on a casino quite a bit, so they've always kind of been in my head. But
Right on.
that's around the time I graduated high school. Whatever was,
Is that when you kind of got into guitar?
Well, I mean, I've kind of always been into it. Like around fourth grade or so, my mom and dad got me an acoustic. It was clearly a classical guitar that somebody put steel strings on. And you had the slotted headstock and the bridge that goes halfway across the bout, that whole bit. As a matter of fact, I walked in the room one day and that bridge was sitting halfway up the neck and it pulled itself right out.
Oh, my goodness.
So, John,
Yes.
you have some varied interest in guitars. Who were your guitar heroes? Like,
That's shifted a lot. I don't know. Like when I was kind of first getting into, like really got serious about guitar, like in junior high or so. I think what really turned me on, that was during the grunge stuff, kind of tail end of it. I mean, I was living in a tiny town, Alabama, so we were a few years behind everybody else. So that's about the time grunge hit us. Anyway, I remember like one of the first albums that really got my attention was a buddy of mine brought over Silverchair's Frog Stomp.
Yeah.
You guys familiar?
That hit a lot. That struck a chord with a lot of people.
Dang, that was cool stuff. I, of course, listen to it at my age now. I'm like, these guys were really angry. But, I mean, at the time, that was, I thought that was the coolest stuff ever. So there was my PRS obsession. That's kind of like, I got to get PRS someday, because he was always rocking one of those. And that album was just so raw. It sounded like somebody was just like walking down the street and heard some noise out of a garage and stuck a mic in there. And so cool. And they were coming over like a heavy metal Hanson or something,
Yeah.
And, but yeah, I thought that was so cool. So I mean, through high school, I was pretty much into heavy stuff, and then got to college, and I'd kind of gotten into home recording. I had a bootleg version of Cool Edit Pro.
For a second, I was like, I've never heard. Who is home recording?
Who is home recording?
I honestly said that in my head. I was like, home recording? Who is that? I've never.
Yeah, got into recording on my little laptop,
okay,
that kind of thing, or on my buddy's laptop or whatever it was, And anyhow, I had a terrible time recording just overdriven guitars. So then I kind of mellowed out a bit and got into more acoustic stuff, and kind of wrote on that for a long time, and I don't know. I guess I have phases, I guess most everybody does. But,
Sure. Yeah. It's okay.
And I remember when
you don't have to
Mayer
be married
came
to
out with
any
his
of it.
Continuum album. Yeah. I remember when Mayer
name
came out with
names. Name names,
Yeah.
Sean. Who was your guitar? If you had a poster of a guitar hero on your wall,
I actually
what would it be?
sent Todd a message not too long ago. So I have it like a button stuck into my little PV Classic 50 over here's grill. It says Noel Gallagher is my hero.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean that was Oasis was a
Good man. I knew he was a good egg.
That's good.
Yeah. And
Todd,
we had
Todd
some back and
likes
forth
Liam
about
better.
That's true. Oh, man.
But Todd and I actually had a little back and forth about the new Noel Edition guitars that came out.
Yeah, indeed.
The Gisland Custom Shop. Gosh, that looks so cool.
It does. You
then,
should stain your casino, man. Stain it. Why not?
Same thing, right? Same
Do
thing.
it.
But then I saw that the FPO version looks really cool.
Yeah.
I'm down with that.
It looks cool. It's
the
kind of expensive. But
Riviera. There you go. That's it. Yeah.
yep. Red Riviera.
That looks like a win. I might have to shuffle some guitars around to grab that.
Yeah. Do that one.
Super cool. So yeah, Noel Gallagher was a big one. I love that kind of. It always kind of hit me as like a straight ahead rock and roll kind of thing, And it's one of those things like whenever I do kind of look up, decide I'm going to learn this solo or learn this little riff or whatever, it usually falls under my hands pretty quick. It's just my guitar language is Noel Gallagher and Bonehead, I guess.
Yeah. Well, there's a simplicity to it that doesn't necessarily sound rudimentary, I guess. You know, it's simple but really tastefully done, and also, you know, the things that they did in the studio. Just, I mean, the music sounds so big, and but still super approachable at the same time. That's why people have locked into him. You know, that's why they can. Liam can still go out there and command 100,000 people like with not even a blink of an eye. It's pretty remarkable stuff.
Yeah, and the high flying bird stuff is pretty cool too. It definitely has that flavor, you know. I mean, it's clearly Noel's stuff, you know. So that's fun. Yeah,
it's kind of interesting seeing his like true, or at least who he is now, like really come out and he's you know, as weird as I can't remember if I shared this on the show before, but if I did, please forgive me. When we were out at Smashing Pumpkins and he was opening up for them. We were sitting there and
he opened for the Pumpkins.
He opened for Smashing Pumpkins.
Cool.
Yeah, and we got to go backstage and all that stuff, and so we were sitting in backstage, not backstage, but in the food area where the crew and all the performers are just like, you know, living their life, and we were sitting there back there waiting for Jeff Schroeder, and I look over and I'm like, Noel Gallagher's eating a sandwich like 5 feet away from me, and I couldn't do anything. I couldn't interrupt him. And what am I going to do? He can't do that. And I was like, dang, that's Noel right there. He's right there. He's eating a sandwich. So, yeah. Anyways.
Yes, so good, right?
Yeah.
For sure. Let's see. I mean,
so who are you listening to these days?
Lately I've been experimenting a lot of new stuff. It's stuff I can't play, but man, it sounds cool. Like I kind of stumbled into Pliny.
Plenty.
Oh,
Pliny.
Plini.
Plenty. Huh, not familiar.
Yes. Oh, you're not familiar? Oh,
I'm not familiar. Well, I got to listen to it now.
A bit of he's really melodic prog kind of stuff.
Okay, get your Parker Fly out, and you got a party.
Exactly right. Well, that was just it. Like YouTube just nailed me with an ad one day. It was one of these Strandberg ads, and it had Plenty. And I was like, "Who is this guy? What is this music? What is this guitar he's playing?"
Yeah.
What was the guitar?
All super cool. It was this. Gosh. I want to make sure I get this right. Plenty. You know, the town. Yeah, Strandberg. I said it a second ago. There you go, Strandberg. I want to make sure I have that right.
Yeah.
But and again, I'm not a proggy player. I can't do any of that stuff. But man, it sounds so cool.
Yeah.
But my music tastes are pretty wide and all over the place. So there you go.
Yeah, those are the ones.
As far as actually playing, I'm much more up the kind of Oasis-y and, you know, more that kind of thing.
Right. Gotcha.
And like I said earlier, like Mayer was a big thing when he came out with Continuum. That was just kind of. I remember I was on my way to Tulsa and somebody recommended I pick up an album. Well, somebody recommended I pick that album up, and at the time I wasn't so into him. And I was stuck in the car for like 5 hours or something like that on the way to Tulsa or wherever, how far it is. And I remember kind of getting out of the car and immediately saying, okay, I got to have a Strat like now.
I love John Mayer. All it took was a car ride.
I have to have a Strat. So I did find like a 50th anniversary deluxe at the Guitar Center. I picked it up and carried it for a long time.
That's awesome.
And just got rid of it before I got this new one. So, but yeah, so there you go. The guy who didn't want a Strat in the 90s wants one now. So there you go.
I like how you've progressed from a rounded guitar to pointy guitars.
Yeah.
It's just like you grew points.
Yeah. I would love to find out from your perspective as a supporter of our show and a supporter of the guitar community and really into gear. What about it keeps your energy going? What about it like excites you? What do you like really perk up when if you're flipping through Instagram and you're seeing stuff? Like, you are in the community and you're supporting it. Why?
Well, I like making stuff myself, so I like to think that sooner or later I'll make some guitar stuffs. That's going to happen.
Okay.
But anyhow, you know, just seeing what these people are coming up with, you know. And I love that the boutique thing is everywhere now. You've got guys, you know, just running out of their garages doing cool things, you know, out of their basements or kitchens or wherever they are. That's super, super cool. I'm all about that. That's a lot of fun. So I mean, and I've always been the kind of guy who's more into the gear than the game anyway. It doesn't matter what the game is. Yeah. So I'm always eyeing new stuff, and so yeah, I guess that's kind of where I'm at. And you know, I keep thinking that sooner or later I'll get more time to kind of sit around and become a better player, which is what I need to do, right? But it's a lot easier to scroll through Instagram and say, "Oh, that's cool." So I'm working on that. But yeah, just seeing what people come up with. I mean, there are lots of new guitar builders for that matter too that I've really gotten into. I mean, the guys out in like Fano down in Novo, like that stuff's really got my attention. Super, super cool. He's done a really great job of kind of spinning off that. It looks like they could have always been there.
Yeah. They did a great job of that.
New guitar, right? Yeah, he's done a great job of that. And there are all kinds of builders I follow on Instagram. My Instagram is just full of, you know, just guitars, motorcycles, and vintage Porsches, and and just whatever
really?
else.
Vintage Porsches, really?
Yeah, well, I don't own one by any means, but they're sure cool to look at.
Oh yeah, no, I worked at a vintage Porsche restoration and racing shop for several
it's
years.
Too fun.
Yeah, 356s, man.
Oh, there you go.
That's cool.
Wow, that's dreaming big. What's your dream rig, Mr. John Williams? What's your dream rig?
Oh goodness. Well, I think of kind of.
Don't say you have it, or the game's over, man. you don't get to respawn either.
Well, I'm like I said, I've been shopping at amps lately. I'm still trying to figure my amps out.
Yeah.
Like I've got this classic 50 here that I've had since like early 2000s. It's the 212, you know, and it's too much for most everything. Great clean tone, and got a big reverb tank. It's nice. But anyway, so I shopped around not too long ago and I tried out one of the Tone Master Deluxes. That's what I've got right now.
Okay.
I like the feature set, and my office here that I'm sitting in right now is right below my daughter's bedroom, so I can't really. So this Tone Master thing was really appealing, having the direct out and the cab sim and all that kind of stuff on it. So that was kind of cool. So anyway, I'm shopping at amps right now.
Yeah, I know you said that. I just wondered if there was like a
dude,
something in your brain.
What goes with that? What goes with that amp?
Sorry, what?
What's going to go with that amp? Dream rig. So you're looking at amps. You don't really know yet. That's fair. What's your?
Well, if I'm picking out like a dream rig amp, like what's really got my attention right now? They're not cheap, of course, but for good reason. They're the Amplified Nation stuff. Have y'all seen those?
Amplified Nation, yes.
Oh yes, like the gorgeous Dumble looking. I mean, yeah, they're fantastic. Those look so cool. So that's probably dream amp right there.
Okay.
At the moment, that's kind of what I've got. What I would just love to be able to dump money on, and then I don't know. Like I said, that custom shop Noel Gallagher thing, dude, I'd take that.
Yeah.
How about that for the current moment dream rig? That's it. There you go.
I like it.
I like it.
I like it. That's all good, man. Very cool. Well, John, it has been an absolute pleasure getting to know you, learning about what makes you tick, and as far as the guitar stuff goes, and it's I'm glad you're a supporter of the show.
Well, again, glad to be aboard. Love listening to you guys. Awesome.
All right. Well, we are going to swing on down to Jared's in the El Camino. We are going to swing on down to Jared's in the El Camino.
Hey, everybody's here in the El Camino, so we know what time it is. Would you rather?
Wow.
It's a special one for John. This one's from executive producer Gregory Randall. Here's another Would You Rather. The Burger King Crown card is shrouded in mystery and probably a lot of grease. Only a dozen folks are known to possess this card, which gives them free Burger King meals for life. This guy's talking my language.
Wow.
You and your band are approached by 3 different fast food chains and offered a lifetime of free fries and burgers. Oh my gosh. To get the card, you have to agree to play a show at one of the following locations to receive a lifetime of fast food delights. So would you rather play at McDonald's in Providence, Rhode Island, a Burger King in Sitka, Alaska, or a Wendy's in Yazoo City, Mississippi?
Oh, that's very specific.
It is absolutely super duper specific, and thank you very much, Gregory.
All right, so McDonald's in Rhode Island, Burger King in Alaska,
in Alaska,
and Wendy's in Mississippi.
Is there anything specific about Sitka though? Because is it a really horrible area in Alaska or a great area?
On the north
I don't
face
know.
and covered with polar bears. I don't know.
I have no idea. That is oddly specific.
That's a good question.
And apparently, Gregory Randall is a geography connoisseur.
Yeah.
All right.
I don't know.
A lifetime.
Googling it
A
now.
lifetime of burgers and fries.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
I'll play anywhere for that, man.
Yeah. To play all 3. Tony, you can go ahead.
I've never been to Alaska.
Okay.
So I think I'm going to do the Burger King in Sitka, Alaska.
Nice.
Because I prefer Burger King over McDonald's. Or what was the other choice?
Wendy's.
Yeah, Wendy's never...
That's an Ohio company.
I know, but in terms of burgers,
Columbus.
not the best burger in my opinion.
Okay.
So I'm going with the Burger King.
All right.
You like it,
You mean
Brian?
you mean it? You're going with Burger King? It's in Alaska.
I love Alaska. I think Alaska would be... Well, it depends on the time of the year.
Yeah.
But I'd make sure it was a nice midsummer.
Yeah. Perfect.
Okay.
All right. Let's see here. Billy.
You know, I just the thought of McDonald's. You know, Rhode Island has some nice seashore. You know, and I always loved like going to Indian Lake in Ohio and pulling the boat
yeah.
up right up to McDonald's. You know, you could go there in the morning, you know, in your boat and get McDonald's. So that's just
That lake
stuck
is
in my
clear
mind.
too,
you
man.
know,
It's like glass.
In your cigarette boat, and you're making a wake, and everybody's all the Karens are yelling at you.
They have them. They're there.
McDonald's, Rhode Island.
Okay. Jared, about yourself.
So when I was way back in the Army, my first orders were to Alaska, and they changed it to Korea. So I'm gonna head up with the old Tony Balonsker.
Yeah.
And I'm
Did
gonna
they
go
change
to,
it once you got there and they saw you and
They
they said,
changed it
actually,
while I was
you're in
basic
Korea?
training.
Oh, okay.
They
All right.
changed it while I was a bit. The captain said, anybody going to Canada or Alaska, same thing. You are going to, not really, but you are going to Korea instead.
But your band's
And I'm
gonna play there. What kind of music does Alaska like?
Inuit.
No.
I don't know.
That's
It's a good quit. Cold music. I don't know.
Coldplay.
Well, you
cool-
better
cool jazz.
get your playlist together.
Yeah.
You know.
I gotta ask
Okay.
the Eskimos.
All right.
That's
John,
what's
how
her
about
name.
yourself?
Well, just to add some information here, I did Google this. So Sitka is kind of against British Columbia, kind of in between Oregon and mainland Alaska.
Oh,
wow.
even better.
Yeah, so it's kind of, it looks like it's out on a little kind of, it might be an island. Yeah, I guess it is an island.
So
yeah,
it's probably super duper cold.
So,
Always windy.
yeah.
It's pretty southerly, you know.
So
for
not a lot of
Alaska.
foot traffic. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Probably not. Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially if the polar bear gets it.
My Google tabs are
Buck
kind of
says
funny
there's
right now.
not even
but,
there's not even a restaurant there.
The polar bears are brown.
Yeah.
That's right.
it's near Juneau.
Okay.
I've never heard of it.
What?
I don't know.
Okay. Anyways,
I've got it.
Sorry.
Yeah,
go ahead, John.
I've got it in my tabs right next to Burger King Crown Card and Brat Pizza, which I'm still hung up on. By the way, I need to experience this.
No.
But,
Right on.
So yeah, I'm totally going Sitka. My family's kind of been into more outdoorsy stuff lately, like this kind of overlanding camping kind of stuff, and Alaska is totally on that list. So yeah, I'm headed there.
yeah.
If I can play a gig while I'm out and driving around, that'd be great. Of course, I can't drive there, but maybe I can get
It's
a
on the
ferry or
bucket
something.
list, man. I'm definitely gonna go
For
up
sure.
there one of these days. Yep, I'm with you.
Well, I'm gonna have a party in the snow as well because Burger King basically makes the best non-meat burger. It's fantastic.
It is.
The Impossible Whopper,
Yep.
man. I love it. So
I concur.
I'm
Good
going there for sure. And because it's not a main area, the people are going to be so excited for some real good time rock and roll.
Oh,
Right?
yeah.
They'll be happy.
All 12 of them.
All 12 of them. And they'll all say, yeah, this is a good show. Yeah. So anyways.
They cook their fries in whale blubber.
Thanks again, Gregory.
Yeah, nice one, Gregory.
You came through on that one.
That
That's
was
awesome.
interesting. We need to say thank you to a handful of people, Tony, and then we need to let our friend John Williams go.
Yes, Todd, you are correct, because at this point of the show, there's a very special group of people that we love to thank. These people are our executive producers, and they make this show possible.
All the time.
How can you become an executive producer? Go over to patreon.com/the Guitar Knobs and check out a couple different levels. You can participate, be a sponsor, a patron of this very podcast. And each level comes with some very, very, very nice thank you gifts. But there's one thing more. Billy, what is that?
You get to have your name read on the thing.
God, you sound just like Jared.
That's amazing.
Because
How did you
that's
do
what
that,
I
Billy?
say.
Really? You get to have your name read?
Yes, on the thing.
That's cool.
That's right.
So that's what I'm going to do right now. So, without further ado, special thanks to these executive producers.
Name the names.
Moon Guitars, Vader and Pedals, John Halverson, Rick Calhoun, Trevor Gunberg, Elad Mizrahi, Mac D, Richard Kendall, Mark Garton, Mad Hart, James White, Justin Jones, Anthony Jamalero, Bill Gola Guitars, John Esterly, Anthony Lathrop, Stefan Lamb, Michael Senchuk, Ken Sayers, Doug Christ, Darren Gregory, Tom Brazen, Rusty Sneeden, Ralph Gottschalk, Don Kloss, Gregory Randall, Brett Hogarth, Eric Hemmer, Stuart George, Michael Furman, and Andrew DeHaan.
Yes.
Thank you, but wait,
there
Todd,
more?
there's
Yes.
more. Yes, there's more. Because there's a special group of executive producers. We call them our Grand Poohbahs.
That's right.
These people have a fez that they wear. I just saw Billy having
Billy's got his
He's
here.
got his head. He's not wearing it currently.
He's working on it. Now he is.
Now
Okay.
I am.
So
Yeah.
you're
Do you
supposed
wear
to...
the tassel in the front or the
You
back?
got to wear that at a
on the
show, man.
side.
That'd be great.
It, should,
Side, brother.
it should be at a 45 to your forehead.
Yeah. Anyways,
Okay.
go.
There
Tony,
you go. Perfect.
Go.
So
Very-
special thanks to these Grand Poohbahs.
Who are they?
Tommy Manasco, Ricardo Iguereda, David Kaminga, Brandon Wild Pickups,
That's right.
Hicks Matos, Michio Murakishi, Bob Crouch, Jack Cadian, Sam Jett, Tyler Rhines, LSJ Music Company, James Pennington, Adam Johnson, Steve Keys, Cody Vasta, Science of Zoe, Brian Robinson, Jonathan Jeruzik, Corey Nigro, Michael Van Zant, Tim Novak, Jonathan Daly, Martin Cliff, Sean S. Eddie Serratos, David Poe, Billy Spitfire,
Hey.
and is there somebody left off? I can't remember. Oh, I know, John Williams.
Hey, we got a wave going around the table here.
Yes.
That's right.
Yeah.
So I want to say thank you to all of you who are supporting, and to all of our patrons out there who are listening to this episode, which is usually all of them. Be looking for something in your email from either myself or Patreon. We got something cooking, and I just want to get your thoughts on. Okay, John Williams, where can people go? Do you want to send people anywhere to see what you're up to?
Well, my main Instagram presence is actually my little side gig, Grizzly Bay. It's Grizzly_Bay. That's where I'm most active. So if anybody wanted to chat or something about guitars, like clearly I don't like doing that, but
what do you make there at the Grizzly Bay?
It's an oddity. I do primarily like wet shaving brushes.
Yeah, they're really cool.
Classic traditional wet shaving brushes, with the badger bristles and all that good stuff.
They're psychedelic.
And actually, it's kind of a big deal. Like lately, I'm kind of phasing out the day gig and doing more of that.
Brushes for what?
For shaving.
Making time to make more things. I mean, I'll keep doing the shave brushes, of course, and I do conductor's batons as well. My whole family's band directors, so that's been a thing. But and I might have one guitar pedal on there still, like that I built a while back, an Ursa Centauri. It's a Klon kind of thing, but it's got a bear riding a centaur on it, which is kind of fun.
Oh, that's fun.
So yeah, if somebody wants a cool clone, this has got like cloth wrap wire and everything, then go check that out. So that's kind of what I'm doing. And like I say, I'm kind of phasing out to do more of my own thing, and that's kind of funding other projects I'm working on.
That's fantastic, man.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Good. Keep us posted.
I figure the odds of starvation are pretty low, but we'll see how it goes.
There you go. Let's see here. Tony Baloney, where can people find you?
Best way is to go over to pickguardian.com, check out some of the things that I do that I have available. But as we talked about earlier, I do mostly custom work. So shoot me an email and let me know what you're trying to do, what you want to do, what you're looking for.
Or if you just don't know and you need an idea.
Yeah, if you just need an idea, shoot me an email at info@pickguardian.com.
There you go.
Yes, sir.
Billy, how about yourself?
Yeah, you can find me on Instagram at Billy Spitfire. You can find me on Facebook, Billy Spitfire, or my art page, Billy Spitfire Unlimited.
Okay.
I'm an artist, a musician, and an engineer.
Yeah.
So talk to me.
Yeah, we learn new things about you all the time. Jared, about yourself?
You can find me on Instagram, jared.allen.brandon, and you can ask me stuff.
Perfect.
About anything.
All right. Make sure you guys take him up on that. Ask him anything.
How about Alaska?
Ask him everything, actually.
Can we
Why
ask
do you have
about
three
Alaska?
first names?
Flood his inbox.
That's right.
All right. You can shoot me an email, Todd at theguitarknobs.com. You can also DM me on Instagram at guitarknobs. We would love to hear what you're up to. Send us your would you rathers. We love getting them. And I'd like to just hear what's going on with you guys out there. So
Todd's also in a great band called the Valentinos, and I don't think you've mentioned it yet. So
well, yes, thank you.
They're on Spotify.
Yes, that is correct. Go check out the
listen.
Valentinos
Great music.
and Billy's band, the Mathematics.
Mathematics, yes.
Do it.
As well as the Bastard Sons of Neptune.
Yes.
So,
Good. All right, everybody. John,
Punk rock
thank
all
you
the way.
so much for being on the show, buddy.
Hey, thank you guys.
And hey, all of you out there, be nice to each other. All right. Have a fantastic guitar week and subscribe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, I said Garibaldi. That's the state fish of California. It's true.
wasn't he the drummer for Chicago?
Okay.
Nothing like getting a clap.
Oh my goodness! I don't want to spinning off the rails. These edits. Hey, everybody in Tennessee, how you doing? I was lost and I couldn't find my backyard.
Brandon from Jared Wound.
Yeah, Brandon from Jared Wound. And then I sent myself a note. What did I send myself? It was. Oh yeah. Hang on.
A box of chocolates?
No, it was a box of nothing. Billy brought two boxes of nothing.
I was first chair kazoo in the Youngstown State University Symphony.
Yes. Well, it was either you or the other guy in the university, so somebody had to do it. You gotta clap good. Clap good. Oh my
I
God.
missed it. Just one more time.
You call that a clap?
There was a microphone in the way. I didn't want to slap the mic.
Billy. Mike.
There's a man's
Oh my
clap.
goodness. Grandma Billy can't clap. Yeah. I had it all set up.
Yeah,
but there's been
nice.
a lot of freaking distractions.
Yeah.
Oh. Would it be funnier if Harry Carey asked like, "Hey, let me ask you a question. If you were in chaos, who would you be?
I like that.
Would you be Gene Simmons? Would you be Paul Stanley? Or would you be Ace Frehley? I'd be Peter Criss. I like
is
cats. That's why. And I can't play guitar to save my life. Cubs win. Cubs win. And Tony's pouring Jefferson's bourbon into a McDonald's
So
slush.
Mezcal.
Mezcal.
The intro to that is me acting like a fool, and I did it for him. He's like, "Oh, you sound like Paul Stanley."
Hi guys, who all's on tonight?
I got nothing.
Okay. That is what's going on. Hey, that's our episode, everybody.
All right. That was great. That's a wrap.
Well, that's it for these knobs. Please visit our Patreon page at patreon.com/theguitarknobs. Visit our website at theguitarknobs.com for all of our past episodes, 4 on the Floor blog, and other good stuff. You can connect with us on social too at our Facebook page and share your gear and stories on our Facebook group. Also, be sure to check out our Instagram at Guitar Knobs. Catch you next time.